少年よ、成り上がれ。
If you're here for a dark action-filled anime, then you are in the right place, as the sci-fi manga Rebuild World is confirmed to get an anime, but further details were not revealed. The story follows the apocalyptic Earth and human civilization that has turned into ruins and wasteland. In this world where old artifacts are needed to rebuild the world, a young street orphan named Akira enters the ruins to be a hunter, where he meets Alpha, an AI system from the fallen civilization, and with her help, Akira quickly rises up in the ranks and starts his journey to revive the once glorious nation known as the Old World. In a world where only the strong survive, through guns, tech, wit, and grit, we see Akira who rises from the slum, finding a way to live in this dystopian world. The sci-fi premise behind this series is quite original, interesting, and unlike many other sci-fi stories, is well thought out, with plenty of details on guns, monsters, and the world they inhabit, giving off a cyberpunkish vibe. The story is quite slow and does somewhat resemble a power fantasy, with Akira having the cheat of an ability of seeing the otherwise invisible Alpha who helps him out. But the characters, dialogue, world building, and other factors somewhat negate this element. As you may expect, the story is dark, with naturally plenty of death, showing how the weak, the manipulative, and others try to survive another day without getting stabbed by some random person. But there is nothing that will emotionally scar you. The plot itself is pretty typical, as it follows a video game like route without any clear goal, but slowly developing on what Akira wants, be it better gear or a better place to live in, as we see him getting stronger. What makes this story not so typical is the characters. The seemingly OP Akira, who apart from being from a slum has no unnecessary backstory, no weird personality quirks, and he isn't oblivious to particular events for the sake of the plot. Although not a nice person, his motivations and thoughts align with someone who is from a slum, with his character growing arrogant and rational over time, as he does what needs to be done without remorse or pity for anyone else. In a sense, Akira is an anti-hero, someone who only works for himself and his own goals. Now, while this character of his started off really good, as the plot progresses and we are introduced to more characters, we come to realize that Akira has not grown at all. With some of his actions making no sense to having zero character development, his personality is no longer likable. At this point, even the side characters have grown and become more interesting. It's nice to see the characters having a realistic mindset, knowing their boundaries and the consequences that come with it. Also, there is a pretty large cast of characters who regularly associate with Akira, and their interactions are quite entertaining, albeit sometimes with a lot of dialogue which can feel like an info dump. There are elements of a potential harem being developed, which slowly grows in becoming a more major part of the story. All in all, if you're into dark stories that involve a lot of action with futuristic weapons, following Akira exploring various ruins, then this show is definitely worth a watch. If you enjoyed this video, then do consider subscribing to my channel for more.